Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon. Um, Welcome to this lecture number 6 on emerging technologies. And we will continue our discussion and continue our learning of Power BI. And today we'll go in, I believe it's module number 4, which I completed earlier this week. And I'll walk you through it so you guys can also follow the key parts of the module. Um, all right, let's get started. So the agenda for today, yeah, we'll go through the deep dive from Power BI. We'll continue our deep dive of Power BI, particularly with the module 4 on create and create and learn the Power BI learning path that is on Microsoft Learn portal. So let's continue. Yeah, this was the lecture 5 assignment, so hopefully most of you completed this module number 3, but I have not seen most of the responses from you guys. I definitely saw a response from Ismail, so I want to really say thanks to him. I think he's doing a great job. He's sharing as well on Google Classroom that he has completed it, which is something I would encourage others to do as well. But Ismail, if you're listening, great job, great job. Please keep doing it. I think you're doing great. I'm really proud of you. Thank you. Let's keep going. Module number. So we'll focus on module number 4 today. It's about creating the different kinds of visuals in Power BI. So one of the things, as you can imagine, let me just quickly check what this is. Yeah, recording is on. As you can imagine, one of the most important aspects of Power BI is the visualization component, meaning, how the charts and the graphs appear, and what kind of charts and graphs you can make. I mean, that is the whole point around data visualization, and that is what um, Power BI is actually really good at. So that's the part we'll focus on. Of course, we have to do all those other pieces around the data modeling, getting the data, cleaning the data, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, it's the visualization that actually brings the insight, or at least shows the data in different ways, so that the user can get some insight from it. So that's the reason why this is the most important, or one of the most important modules. I think it's module number 4. So let me correct that here. Use module 4. I mean, we'll look at module 4, which is use visuals in Power BI. And so we're going to learn in this create and customize visuals to present data in compelling and insightful ways. We'll look at all different kinds of visuals that Power BI has available, and you can also try it out. If you have downloaded your Power BI desktop on your computer. So let's go in it. Let me just maybe quickly show you how this looks like. So this is this module. If I could go back, this is the learning path. We are focusing on create and use analytics reports with Power BI, and we have done module 1, 2, 3, and this is the module number 4, use visuals in Power BI. And so let me just click this here. So this is the one we will do. As you can see, I have completed this, and it's a very easy, very easy, with a lot of short videos and a lot of short videos and some text and some images. And so I would encourage everybody to go through it, and you can also, with the data that you have available, either yourself or the one that we got in the one of the earlier modules, you can try to play around with this in Power BI desktop. Okay, let's go back. So introduction to visuals in Power BI. So visuals are nothing but what you see on the screen now, right? So there's like a map of United States. You see some items are dark green, some are light green, but they are conveying some information. It could be, maybe this is the population, the darker green one has more population density than the lighter green ones. I'm just making this up, but this kind of uh, useful data. Instead of seeing it with just the numbers, you can now see it in a map, kind of kind of superimpose on the map is actually the population view. That this makes a lot more intuitive sense and gives you a lot more clarity in understanding the data, versus if this data was just in tables and just numbers, etc. It would make it very difficult. What you see here, this is like a bubbles chart. We call it like a scatter plot or a bubble chart, and you can see the bubbles are the size of the bubble can depend on let's say whatever we are trying to convey with it. It could again be, let's say, that the sales are high in these states versus the smaller circles means less sales, bigger circle means high sales, etc. And you see here bar chart, you see another kind of bar chart. So these are all different kinds of visuals. Now Power BI has a lot of um, visuals built into the system itself, and they also keep introducing new and new visuals, which is the most important part of this whole thing. I mean, at the end of the day, this is what counts. How can you convey your data and the insight in the most simplest form to a user? So this is what we're going to learn about. As you can see, the first section in it is about introduction to visuals in Power BI. So if I click on that, it's showing some of these things that we just talked about. So it's very simple. So let's just move to the next one. The next one is about creating and customizing visuals. And in Power BI, you have two ways to create visuals. It is a very, how should I say, very user-friendly tool. So, it's very easy to start creating this visual. So the first way is that you just drag and drop the different fields that you have in your data. So let's say, this data set that is loaded in the Power BI desktop has country, district, region, city, that kind of data. And so you can just pull the country out and you put it on the report canvas where your reports will show up. If you just drag and drop it, it will automatically start to create the default visual. And then the other approach could be that on the top, as you can see, it has all these kind of different visualization icons. So it shows you what kind of charts, different icons for different kind of charts. This is something, if you've used Excel, you would see that Excel has these kind of small icons to show what kind of chart you can create. And so that's the other way you can just create. You can just click on the visual icon, and then it will bring it up here, and then you can say, okay, what data you want to bring in this visual. And you can also create what is called a combination chart, meaning different different insights being covered, or different kind of data points being covered in a combination. So you see here that there's a bar chart. So there's a lot of bars. The green ones, we call these bars. So you see a lot of bars, and then you kind of see like an average, or you can see the line that is kind of drawn across could be like an average, as the bars are being added, this line sort of acts as an average or something like that. It can combine the two different data points. So that's on creating and customizing visuals. Let me go back. Yeah, there's a video that you can look at to see, hey, how to create simple visuals, and a little bit more information. There's another one where it shows how, short video to show how to combine different charts, or how to combine different data points. So let's see, it's fairly easy. So we move to the next one, which is around create slicers. Slicers is something important. Let me see if I've covered it here. No. So slicer is something that you now don't have in your Excel charts. So if you're used to making charts and graphs using Excel, this is where Power BI starts to shine, and this is where Power BI brings a lot more interactive features than what Excel had. So it's just like the next level, right? This is why Power BI is so useful and powerful, and is growing. So Slicer is a functionality where, let's say you have a chart like this with bar chart. So you got like the bar charts there, but Slicer would be that if I click on, and this, let's say there are these three different charts, all from these data sets of 5-6 countries. Now if I click on France, or if I pick any country, you will see that all the elements that are linked to France will start to pop up, or just become like a bit more prominent in the in your visual. So it just it becomes it will just make it just makes it much more easier. And so you can just pick like Mexico, and okay, then all the data is just shown for Mexico, for example. And if you sort of deselect it, then it's sort of go back to all the 5 countries. And so something like that, it is it's just a way to uh, visualize data more cleanly. This, if you try to do this in Excel, then you have to create a lot of you'll have to probably create separate charts for each of the countries, etc. But in this case, just with one chart, you can sort of slice for which let's say filter. You can think of it like a filter. So for what filter country do you want to see the rest of the data, or something like that, right? So it's yeah, that's what it tries to do. Now, the next one is around map visualization. So let me just quickly go back to the slides. Yeah, map visualization. So this is the great feature that Power BI has. And so whenever you want to show something related to a country or a city, or the world, or regions in general, then you can use the map visualization, which is built into Power BI. And you can show like the maps as they are with their boundary lines. So this is like the internationally recognized boundaries of different countries. So you can show that, and you can highlight the regions, and then you can sort of put some sort of different color coding for different kind of data levels, or data thresholds. Or you can also have a bubble on top of a chart. Again, the size of the bubble can mean a certain data point. So, but this is so intuitive, so nice, so good to see, so easy to understand. If I would have put the same information in table, and in form of table and numbers, then I would not be able to kind of really visualize what this actually means, and then to be able to think. So most of my energy will go in just trying to visualize. Oh, but what does that mean? Oh, in northern part we have high density. Okay, southern part we don't have high density. Okay, I need to keep that in mind all the time when I'm now thinking about what to do with this information. Whereas in this case, this is already, the visual is already there. Now you can start to think about what does it mean? Why is it low here? Why is it high here, etc. Yeah, so it just makes the job that much bit easier. Again, there is a very short video to show how to create map visuals, um, how to create the bubble maps as well. So that's that. So let's move on. Create scatter plot waterfall charts. Okay. I've skipped this section in the slides, but I think you must go through it. It is useful to see how to show data also in the table form in Power BI. So that's what it shows. I think it's good to go through it to see how you want to still show. So it's sometimes the tables and numbers actually do help as well. So they have kept that option there, and you can sort of also include some tables and numbers in your visualization. So this is what it tries to tell you. Now create scatter plot or waterfall charts. Again, there is a short video to see how to create scatter plots. Scatter plots are really, really powerful as well. It is actually, it helps you cover 3 dimensions. So you can see dimension 1 is, let's say, the y-axis, dimension 2 is like x-axis, and the third dimension is the size of the bubble. So all in all, this is like a 3D or a 3-dimensional data points can be visualized through this scatter plot. And so it's very widely used these days, and so it'll be good to learn about it. And then you have this waterfall chart. So waterfall chart is really helpful to understand when things are building up on each other. So you say, okay, at the beginning of the year, we expected to, whatever, 20 million as our cost for all the products we will create. But over the years, as the months go by, this was the plan for the whole year in January, but in February, in March, in April, we had some additional costs, and these were these additional costs. But then we also had some additional savings in whatever, August, September, October, whatever. I mean, I'm trying to make this up, but it tells you how for certain kinds of business problems, certain kinds of charts are most suited, and this is what it tries to show you. So waterfall chart is another good one to use, generally used a lot in finance space, but I see here they've used it for the sales area as well. So that's good. Modify colors in charts and visuals. Let's have a look at that. So yeah, there's yeah, I think this is a good one. So let me just see. Yeah, and conditional formatting as well. So um, there is also, again, this is not something you have in Excel. If you're used to Excel, this will again be a point to try and compare the Excel and Power BI, and you will see how Power BI is so much more useful. I mean, so much more interactive and such a great solution. So when you create your charts and graphs, you may want to modify the colors to show different kinds of insights. Like I said, so when you have the population density, you want to show population density, you want to start with, darker colors for higher density, and lighter colors as you go to lower density, right? And so that's something you can do quite easily in Power BI. There's another thing which is around conditional formatting, meaning, you want to maybe format the colors in the chart based on certain conditions. That's what it means. So you say, okay, um, if the sales are between uh, 10,000 and 5,000, color it with dark green. If the sales are between 5,000 and 2,000, color it with light green. And if the sales are below 2,000, then color it with gray or something like that. And that would automatically then happen in your chart. And that will just be so much more intuitive and so much more easy to understand for a user, that they can just look at the chart and say, oh, I can see that, for these periods, we had very, very little sales. What did really happen here? And so the conversation can move very quickly in what action to take based on this insight, rather than just trying to understand the data and trying to understand, well, what does it mean? Oh, and how does it compare to that part? Oh, and so it just brings all of it in one visual, and so that's really helpful. um, Let me see what is there next. Conditional formatting. Okay, that was the last one that I covered. But there's also this thing around formatting reports. How do you want the report layout to look like in the actual system? So that's something I would suggest also have a view. There are different kinds of options available, and if you've used Microsoft Word, you would be aware of some of this. So you can also see there's a phone layout, right? And so the Power BI reports are meant to be consumed also by phone or tablet like iPad, etc. So you may want to be careful not to put too many charts or visuals in one report, and this is what this allows you to do, right? How the layout and the formatting of the report looks like. So have a look at this short video. I think that tells you about that. And you can add some static elements. So that could be a text box or image, just to further personalize the chart or the visual to your own context. Yeah, there are a few interesting pieces here, so I will suggest please go through these short videos. They tell you some tips and tricks on how to basically manage a report layout. And after that, it's just back to checking your knowledge. I think there are like 3 questions, fairly easy. I did them earlier this week, so I would suggest, yeah, just take this test and you can see how you are doing. Let me go back. And so yeah, that's it for the module 4. So it's not that much. I think it should take you maybe about 45 minutes or so to complete the module, between maybe like 30, 40, and anything between 40 minutes to 60 minutes probably to complete the module and do the knowledge check at the end of it. And yeah, I mean, please, let's post the questions. I have not received any questions on module 3 or module 2, etc. So I hope you guys are doing these modules. I will try to check this again by asking this on our WhatsApp group. But please, if there are any questions, please post them on Google Classroom, or please send me a message or email, whatever works. But please try to do these modules. They're going to be quite useful for you to learn Power BI. Okay, with that, Thank you for listening, and I will post the slides and the video on YouTube. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.